now proudly presented on SNME. That's Sunday night's main event.
Heavy traffic during 4-5. Gotta hustle on your own time. Color people every port side. We just people from the north side. Want some teammates at the shore fine. Winter ready on the foe ties.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's your host, your boy George Mackay here. Straight Talk Wrestling. Man, oh man, do I got a good one. You can see him on the screen, but I got an intro that only fits the man himself. You've seen him on AEW. You've seen him on LLW. You've seen him on New Japan on Team Filthy. He'll be joining the cast of Prime Videos on Call, playing the LBC East Barrios El Monstro. He's coming to Netflix January 4th on the new show, The Brother's Son. And he is the reigning, defending UWN champion for 351 days and counting. The radioactive Poppy, Danny Limelight Rivera. My dude, how are you?
What's up, mi gente? What an introduction, man. That shit was like a list of shit. I was waiting for the laundry to clear. How are you, man? How's the mini host? How's everything going on your end, bro? It feels good to be back.
It absolutely is good to be back. It's an honor to have you back. The mini host is good. She's grade 9 now, so she's got, homework, more responsibilities, but she's killing it.
It's my daughter.
Yeah, absolutely. Your little one is in high school now too?
She's 9. Yeah, she'll be. Oh, you 9th grade or 9 years old?
No, she's 14. Mine's 14, 9th grade.
Oh, I think you said she's 9 now. Oh no, mine is 9 years old.
Oh, good. You still got a few years before you hit those teen.
Yeah. Before I gotta worry about that crazy teen stuff.
It's all good. Hey, listen, when she starts dating, whoever she brings home, all you gotta do is throw on your action reel. This is what happens if you mess with her in any way. That's it. So
I always imagine stuff like that, like one of those movie scenes,
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like I could see you totally reenacting Den of Thieves, 50 Cent.
That's a great concept.
Yes, absolutely. That one and Bad Boys 2, 150.
Bad Boys 2, yep. One of the other.
So let's talk all these craziness with the actor strike. We're going to get into wrestling in a bit, but let's talk the craziness of the actor strike. Everyone's on hold. Work is standing still. You found a way, though not so much with the acting side of stuff, but to keep yourself busy, keep yourself in shape while you were waiting. But when you got the call that the actor strike had finally ended and agreement had been made, how excited for you to call your agent and be like, let's just work. Let's get back to work. Let's keep grinding.
Man, it felt, first of all, I was on the picket lines every week. I was there showing faces, networking, meeting people, seeing some of the people I grew up watching on TV being out there and stuff like that. It was a really, really good time because I was meeting people like Vanessa Hudgens, Alexandra Shipp, hanging out with the cast of Spartacus and Arrow, and just really seeing the business from outside of set, seeing what people, I was hanging out with Demi Moore, and it's just talking to her and taking knowledge from her and asking her questions, and just seeing what their lives were like and how they were out there fighting for it. And some of these were, A-list actors, so if they're out there, I should be out there, So I try to show up every week. I was there multiple times a week, just walking, waiting for the strike to end. So when I finally got the call that it was over, I seen the news and stuff like that. I was excited, I didn't even have to call my agent. He texted me right away. He said, it's time to go back to work. I was like, yes, please. Like, I'm ready, but during the strike, I was writing, I was putting things together for my own projects and stuff like that I like to do. I was in the gym grinding. I was, in school still. So just really staying busy, staying productive while waiting for work to come back.
Absolutely. Now, the last time you and I spoke, we were promoting Joe Riv, which is arguably one of my favorite short films that you have done. You've done a lot of great stuff, but Joe Riv just hits different, man. I love the story. I love the connection of it. And you got a lot of accolades from that. You got a lot of awards and a lot of recognition. What does it feel like? I mean, I probably asked this question when we did it, but it's nice to catch up. What does it feel like to get the recognition from all the work that you guys put in on that weekend shoot to make Joe Riv come from paper to life? Like people don't understand that. When you put it on paper, it's just on paper. But when you see it come to life, it's a whole nother layer.
Yeah, man, I actually rewatched Joe Riv about 2 weeks ago because I'm in the process of finishing up the full feature-length script for the film. I had this whole concept in mind of what I wanted Joe Riv to be when I first started writing it. And it's just, when it comes to film, there's never enough time, there's never enough money. And so I had a really small budget for the short film. It did great, won 6 awards. I had a lot of fun making it, and watching it come to life was awesome. it proved to me that I can do this. You know, I'm a filmmaker. There's filmmaking at all different levels and stages, and you know, bouncing off of that success, you know, meeting my agent, you know, making connections, building my reels, getting my foot in the door, having the accolades on my IMDb page show that I'm an award-winning filmmaker, award-winning actor. It was awesome, you know, like it was something. This is something I always wanted to do since I was a kid. Besides wrestling, was be in films, you know, be in movies and stuff like that. I've just always been so drawn to cinema, so it was awesome, you know. And now I'm in the process of finishing the full like version of the film, the script. And then obviously once I'm done with it, it'll go through like rewrites and like you know, adding details here. It's figuring out what works and what doesn't after rereading it all. But I took what I learned from Joe Riv and applied it to all my work going forward. You know, right now I'm in production shooting my new short film, Mantu, which stars myself, Miko Sad, Marwan Naji, Ahmed Mawaz. You know, I have Michelle Jubilee on it. I also have this very, very, very popular actor that people love and adore. I'm not going to drop his name right this second because I'm waiting till I shoot the scene with him this month, December 15th. So next month, I guess. Once we shoot the scene and I have it locked in, then I will make the announcement of who it is that has joined the cast. But he's loved and adored by everyone. He's been in tons and tons of film, even Academy Award-winning films. So definitely excited to announce that he's part of this. And it just, you know, I have Nick Herms directing, Ihan Tongdor is stunt coordinating. So it's an action comedy, more so heavy on the action side, but just learning what I learned from Joe Riv and applying it to this film. And instead of shooting it all in one day, you know, have a bigger budget now, have more networks now, more connections now. I've been able to pull rabbits out of the hat, it feels like, for this film. And I'm really excited for it. We're almost done. You know, we should be done. We've been shooting, you know, part scenes here and there. We started filming in the end of October. We just shot again beginning of this month. We'll be shooting next Sunday, December 3rd, this big part of the film. Then we'll shoot December 15th, and then we'll wrap it on December 16th. And so hopefully, if all goes well, we'll be done with the film December 16th, go into post-production, get it all put together, and submit to festivals.
I love that. I love that. Now, I mean, every filmmaker's got a dream. I myself, as you know, I went to the Toronto Film School. I did my stuff a little bit here and there. But when it comes to festivals, everyone's got that dream festival they want to debut their film at. For me, It was always Cannes. I always wanted to win Cannes. I always wanted to win the Palme d'Or. I know it was a pipe dream, but still, it would have been incredible to win it. But what's the festival that you're looking forward to the most if you get accepted or selected? Which is one festival you've got your eye on for, if not this project, a future project?
Yeah, you know, definitely Cannes, Sundance, you know, the big ones, obviously, but there are a lot of smaller ones too around the US. This film has roots in Egypt, so we're going to be looking at international stuff as well. Basically, the film is about an Egyptian archivist being threatened by a Nigerian black market dealer, and his only hope for survival rests in the unlikely alliance with the ex-Marine Special Forces. So we have culture in it. We have a very, very diverse cast. You know, we have guys from Egypt, guys from Korea, guys from Africa. We have guys from Mexico. We have guys from the US. We just have people from the very, very diverse group of people from all over. We have Native American in it. So it was really awesome to be able to bring all these different people together into this story. And it's just been so awesome. My daughter's in it. She's playing my daughter in the film. She's been kicking ass. She actually has a movie coming out February 9th called Skeletons in the Closet, starring Terrence Howard and Cuba Gooding Jr. So she has that film coming up soon. So we just been staying busy grinding. You know, we have all these dreams and stuff like that. I'm actually have other stuff that I'm working on, as you said earlier, you know, with the Netflix show dropping January, the Amazon show that I'll be filming soon. So juggling all that, juggling school, juggling my own film that I want to, you know, do things with, and then juggling wrestling, you know, as well as being a dad on top of everything. So it's been a mess, you know, but it's been awesome.
Listen, there ain't no rest for the wicked, man. You'll catch up on all that sleep when you're called home. That's the way I look at it, man. But you keep grinding, you keep busy, you keep finding time for family. And I gotta say, the more I see your daughter blossom, I love dad-daughter relationships. It's the best. I don't care what anybody says. Being a girl dad is the coolest thing in the world. But you know what I miss? You know what I do miss? I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna air it out right now. I miss playing Barbies, man. I miss the tea parties. I miss that stuff. I never thought I would say that, but I miss it, dude.
She's at the age, but she don't want to do that no more,
That's what I'm saying. Like, and it flies by so quickly. Now it's like, Dad, can I go out with my friends? Dad, can I, can I do this? Can I do that? Dad, I want to go audition here. It's like you're trying so hard to. You want to tell them to chase their dreams, but you also want to tell them to slow down because before you know it, man, you 30, you 40, and life flies by. So while you're 9, while you're 14, while you're 12, whatever age, remember just to still be a kid when you got the time to. You know what I mean?
100%. I agree with that. And that's the stuff that I'm juggling with my daughter too now, is that she's starting to act a little bit too grown. She has all these things she wants to do and stuff like that. And her mom and I are at this point in life where we're trying to bring it down and still remind her you're only 9 years old, so. But she's already asking for G-Wagons for her birthday. When she turned 16, she's already wanting to go visit this place and that place. And Dad, I want this and I want to do that. And I don't want to go to after school care anymore. I want to walk home with my friends. So it's, it's the parenting stuff.
Absolutely, it is the parenting stuff. Let's switch gears for a sec. Let's go into the wrestling stuff for a little bit, man. UWN, you're killing it over there. 351 days. You won that belt. Literally, we're almost at a year because from what I did my research on, you won that belt last year, December 11th.
Yes.
So we are so close to that year mark. How does it feel?
I just defended it last week in Wisconsin at Ironheart Pro against Garrison Creed, who's a member of the United Wrestling Network roster. Hard fought match, but I ended up walking out victorious with my hand raised high. And you said we're approaching on 365 days, almost a year now, on December 11th, and it's just been crazy because I was looking back the other day. The belt, I have the belt hanging on my wall, and I was looking back, and man, defending against Eddie Kingston, defending against Tom Lawler, Zicky Dice, Clark Connors, Invictus Cash, Jordan Clearwater, Garrison Creed, like just so many names, so many people that are so talented, and just being able to defend it every month after month, be a fighting champion, looking forward. I got Bad Dude Tito coming up, I got Slice Boogie, who my tag partner just won the #1 contendership tournament. So, I got to watch out for that. And everybody wants to go, everybody wants to be the guy. And I've held this flag, for United Wrestling Network now almost 365 days, but I've been the flag bearer. I've been the face of the company. I just became champion now, and they can't take that from me. I've cemented myself as the longest reigning United Wrestling Network heavyweight champion of all time. The first Latino United Wrestling Network world champion of all time. So I have all those accolades, where when this reign, if it ever does come to an end, because I keep saying you got to kill me to take this belt from me. I beat Moose, like I'm just thinking of all these people that I've put down to stay champion, to stay the man here, and it's been challenging, it's been hard, it's been draining, but it's been worth it, and it's constant reminder that I am who I say I am.
Absolutely, dude. You're the radioactive Poppy. One of the few things I saw from you the first time you and I developed the friendship that we have is how electric you are, but how humble you are. And it shows that you're a fighting champion. Look at the names you mentioned. I mean, Eddie Kingston, Moose. You took the belt from Jordan Clearwater, arguably one of the best guys on the indie scene doing it. And all comers have come. And now you continue to knock them all down. And I have no doubt that this reign is far from over. But let's be honest. You got Slice Boogie coming up. He's your tag partner. He's half of 5150. You guys know each other so well. How do you prepare, or how do you try to come up with something new to counteract when you got to stare your best friend in the face across the ring from you?
Yeah, I was just driving with him to Mexico on Saturday. We had a show with AAA, where we were victorious. It was sick. It was, sold out show, a couple thousand people in that place. But you're right. We know each other very well. I know him. He knows me. Even when he was injured, he was about at ringside watching me wrestle. Watching what I do. And I feel like I switched my style up this last year and a half, from what people were used to seeing me do on New Japan and AEW to how I've been wrestling from MLW and on. With the United Wrestling Network. And I feel like he's grown accustomed to that. And I think people forget that I'm still very innovative. I'm still very crazy in the ring. I can fly with the best of them. I can fight with the best of them. I can grapple with the best of them. And I think that, I know Slice Boogie very well. I'm sure there's things that he's working on that I haven't seen. I'm sure there's things that he can do that I haven't seen, and it's one of those things where we're going to have counter for counter. We're going to have each other well scouted. And it's going to be who takes that one shot, like my boy Chris Bay says, all I really need is one shot. Who's going to take that one shot and come out on top? And, I hope that this doesn't end our friendship, this championship. I hope it doesn't end our brotherhood. I hope that the gold and everything that comes with it isn't more important than what Slice Boogie and I have established and built for the last 3.5 years, going on 4 years now almost. There's only one way to find out. You know what I'm saying? Lace him up.
I love it. Absolutely. Again, no short of confidence, but again, understanding who your opponents are. And that's the layers that is Danny Limelight. And I think
Slice is hungry. Slice said it himself. I won this belt. I've been getting flown out everywhere. I've been all over wrestling the best names. He wants that. And I ain't mad at him for wanting that. I wish there was another way we can do it. I wish it didn't have to come to this. I wish there was another championship he could take. But he wants to be the guy. He's hungry. He's starving. Like Papa used to say, I'm starving. He's starving. And I know what this championship could do for him. I know why he wants it. I'm just, in his eyes, I'm the poor unfortunate soul that has it. And unfortunately for Slice Boogie, I'm the guy that has it. So it could go either way.
Absolutely can go either way. I want to switch gears back to MLW for a minute because I loved your guys' run. I loved 5150. You know that. The Rewind, we spoke highly of everything you guys were doing, from the promos you were cutting to Julius Smoke and the hype man. You had Hernandez there for a minute. I mean, you had Conan bringing you in. 5150 was great. And then Slice got injured. And then, you guys were free agent. I know you've mentioned on a few podcasts that the door has never been closed for AEW. There's a chance you could go back there one day. But what is the status with MLW? Is that door closed, or is there an opportunity that we could see?
I was just there in March. I wrestled Hammerstone for the MLW World Title in Mexico. They pulled me in for a one-off appearance. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the doors situation is like. I feel like nowadays every door is opening. We got people returning to companies, people being traded to companies, switching companies, jumping ship, running ship. Like wrestling is all over the place. So never say never. I mean, I've reached out to certain companies. There are certain companies that have my interest, certain places that I want to go wrestle, things that I want to do, whether it's a singles or a tag. I'm always looking for opportunities. I have fun at MLW. One thing that I always praise MLW for was they were the first company that gave me a live mic in front of the crowd and kind of let me do what I do. And that's where the mic on, safety off came from. I just felt like, in a way, they kind of fumbled it with me and Slice. I felt like there was so much more that could have been done. And even after Slice got injured, I'm naturally a singles wrestler anyway. I felt like they could have did so much more with me there that they didn't want to do. So that's neither here or there. I had a good time there. They helped me develop more who Danny Limelight is. Even if they wanted to call me Rivera or Danny Rivera, they helped me develop the character work, and I had a great one with Slice. We got to go on to become the MLW World Tag Team Champions. We went on to become IWA Puerto Rico World Tag Team Champions simultaneously, so thankful for that. And, I never say no to opportunities, especially if the dollar's right. So.
And again, I love that. Now, this is one thing that I find super interesting is that I think you and I are in the same wavelength. The wrestling world does not deserve filthy Tom Lawler. You've said it numerous times. You have. You are Team 50, Filthy. You are Team Filthy OG.
Yeah.
But what is it about the wrestling world that you don't think that they deserve Tom Lawler? Because he is so gifted in so many layers, but I still feel like he's underappreciated, man.
Yeah, I just feel like Tom is one of the guys that he's fucking awesome in the ring. He's a legit fighter. He's a prize fighter. He's a championship fighter. But like when you take him outside the ring, he's still one of the best human beings I've ever met in this business. I feel like one of the problems that I've had with wrestling is finding my people, mi gente. People that I'm in the locker room with that I still consider, okay, this person I'd have a beer with. I'd go get drinks or food with this person. I could hang out with this person outside of work. And I felt like my relationship with Tom, I look at him as a big brother. I respect him as a man. I respect him as a father. I respect him as a wrestler. I respect him as a fighter. And I can't say that about a lot of people, I think people don't deserve Tom Lawler in the wrestling world because I feel like he's not getting the opportunities he deserves. He should be on TV every week. He understands wrestling. He knows wrestling. He loves wrestling, and he's legit. Why is he not at AEW or TNA or getting big opportunities in Japan or anywhere WWE? Like why? What is it? I don't know. I wish it happened soon for him though.
I absolutely do too. I feel the same way about you, man. I feel like
Oh yeah, don't get me started on that because I'm a
ready.
TV wrestler. I'm a professional wrestler, sports entertainer. That's me. I understand TV, and I don't know why, but hopefully I wouldn't be waiting that much longer. I feel like I've matured a lot outside the ring. I feel like that was kind of holding me back a bit, all the partying and drinking and chilling with all these females and shit like that I was doing in that 2020 to 2022 run that I was having. But I was enjoying it. I was making money I never made before in my life. I was getting to see places I've never seen before in my life, just the traveling part of it. And I was enjoying myself, people looked at it as immaturity or as this, or I'm in wrestling for the wrong reasons. And however they perceive it as a number, people forget that I have kids, people forget that I'm also a father. People forget that, I was in the military for 10 years active, not a reservist, like people forget all that shit about me and how that shit has changed my life. My life story is crazy. And when I write my book, when I'm done with my book, and it's people gonna know who I really am, from street lights to limelight.
I can't wait for that book, dude. That book's gonna sell like fire. Right here, your boy you tell me when it's on sale. I'll buy 2 copies. As long as you sign both of them, I'll buy 2 copies. That's all I have.
I got you.
So everybody talks about writing their memoirs, but I do feel like your story has so many layers that, like you said, people forget. And it's hard to consistently have to be reminding people, hey, this is who I am. You're only seeing one layer. You're only seeing one side of me, one perception. You're making perceptions based off of that one perception that you've seen. But if you take the time down to sit down and have a conversation with Danny, right. Not Danny Limelight, but Danny.
I feel like I don't go around throwing that shit in people's face though. Like, you're not gonna hear me say, man, I was in the military 10 years. Like, that's not who I am. Like, I did this. I went to this deployment. I did that. I did this. I made 350 Marines when I was a drill instructor. Like, that's not shit that I throw in people's face. I don't need to sit here and tell people I'm a father to a little girl and a little boy, 2 different moms, juggling that shit. I don't gotta sit here and tell people that on top of the wrestling, I'm a full-time student. On top of that, I'm an actor. I'm auditioning. I'm writing. I'm an award-winning filmmaker. I've been married. I've been divorced. I've been, I've been depressed. I've been through all this shit, man. Like, there's so much shit that people just look at the surface level, and I'm much deeper than that. It's like that meme you see with the Titanic and the iceberg, what they saw, but what's underneath it. People look at who Danny Limelight is in the ring and think they know who I am. They don't know shit about me. There's very few people that actually know me. Chris Bay's one of them. Slice Boogie's one of them. Papo Esco's one of them. Tom Lawler's one of them. They that's pretty much about it. Besides, Jordan Cruz. Like, there ain't too many people that really know me in wrestling that can say, oh yeah, I know who he is. You don't. You know what you seen. You know how I show up to a building, how I talk in my promos, what I do in the ring, and when I walk out, and what you see on Instagram. That's all you know.
Absolutely. I want to talk about mental health for a second, because mental health is a stigma. You've been through it. I've been through it. I fought my darkest battle 2 years ago, and the lights were off. Danny, I'll be honest with you. I don't think you and I would have been having a conversation if you knew me 2 years ago. It was a rough go, but I persevered through the love of my wife and my children and my dog, who annoys the crap out of me, but I still love her.
My dog is the crap out of me right now.
Yeah. But mental health is still such a stigma. As much as we want to recognize that men can talk about it and it's okay, and it doesn't make us less of a person because we went through these struggles, people should realize that it makes us stronger because we've seen the darkest depths of shit and we climbed out of it. Do you feel the same way I feel about that?
Yeah, you are more. I'm wearing it right here. This is a shirt for that right there. Mental health, all that stuff. You are more. You who you are is worth a lot more than what people may perceive you to be worth. Like, mental health is serious. Whether it was dealing with the military, dealing with a divorce, dealing with not seeing my daughter every day, finding out I have a son, not being able to see my son every day, trying to build a relationship with my son, the wrestling, me leaving AEW, how that shit went down, just everything, the engagement that I had with my fiance that went south, that led me to the fucking bottom of everything. It's crazy what we as men, or even humans in general, because I don't want to genderize it, but we are told as men, don't cry, don't show weakness, don't do this, especially in the military. That was one of the biggest things that they like, don't show weakness. You know, pain is weakness leaving the body. Like shit like that is what they instilled in us. And for me, like, when you get to that point and you really feel mentally broken, mentally defeated, that shit'll really check who you are. You know, like rock bottom teaches you lessons mountaintops never will. And I feel like if you could get past that shadow, I was there to the point where I didn't want to be here. But I remember I had a little girl, and I had shit that I had to do. I had to pick myself up, put myself back together, and it took time. You know, it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. No dollar amount's gonna fix that feeling. You know, it's some self work. You know, I go to therapy. You know, I'm in therapy once a week. I've been dealing with some shit that happened to me with the VA that I can't speak on, but I'm working through that. You know, like, you get all these challenges, all these obstacles thrown your way, and it just shows you how resilient you are. You know, one of my favorite quotes was said by Sylvester Stallone and Rocky Balboa. You know, he's like, doesn't matter how hard you hit. What matters is how hard you could get hit and keep moving forward. You know, how much you could take and keep moving forward. That's how winning's done. So if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you got to be willing to take the hits. And not saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You better than that. That's a quote that I heard from Rocky. You know, Sylvester Stallone is one of my dream people to work with. But I heard that quote, and that shit carries me through life.
I absolutely agree with you, man. Every time I see that meme or I see that video, I still reshare it. I can reshare it 50,000 times, and it always hits different on a different day, because what you feel at that day, that quote could represent something completely different than it would have yesterday. And that's what makes
Exactly.
That's what makes those things incredible. Let's switch gears, though, and a little bit more of an uptick on things for sure. Let's keep switching gears. Now, listen, I gotta say that out of everyone that you faced and everyone that you've rocked down in every match that you have, I mean, I will say arguably that I think your toughest challenge during this UWN title reign, your toughest challenge is yet to come in Slice Bookie. But I will say one of my favorite matches is you and Eddie Kingston, because you guys tore it down, built it back up, tore it down, built it back up, and then tore it down one more time and left the ring in fire. But what would you say is your best title defense during this reign? I mean, you faced a lot of amazing people, but what would you say is the one individual that when the match was done, you were like, that stays with me? I wake up in the morning and my shoulder cracks, and I remember where that shoulder crack came from.
Yeah, fucking Tom Lawler. I love him. But yeah, we wrestled, we had it had to be like 26 minutes, maybe close to 30 minutes. And in the first minute, he kicked me in my leg. And I felt that kick for like 4 days. Like, he kicked me in the I texted him. Matter of fact, I might not have the text messages on this phone because I got a new phone. Fuck. But I end up texting him, and I'm like, bro, can you teach me how to kick like that? Like, that was my text. I'm like, because that kick you gave me, I'm still feeling. And he just laughed it off, you know? And like, it was a hard fight. It was a physical fight. I took a ass whooping in that match. And then I tapped him out. Or he didn't tap, he passed out. You know, I choked out Tom Lawler. You know, for me, that match is one of my favorite ones from this reign, because it was hard hitting, it was brutal, it was great. The crowd was into it, and it was against one of my best friends in the business. So I really, really enjoyed that match a lot. You know, but you bring up Slice Boogie, you know, and I don't know when that match is coming. It could be coming as soon as next year, a little bit more down the line. But yeah, you know, he's someone who's in the best shape he's ever been in, coming back of a career-ending injury. He's hungry. He has nothing to lose and everything to gain. So I am looking forward to the match, and I am worried about the fact that, okay, this is a guy that knows me inside and outside the ring. He knows me as Danny Limelight. He knows me as Danny Rivera. He knows me as Daniel Rivera. You know, he's in my new Phil Montu, you know, and he knows me as that as well. You know, like, he knows all aspects of me, you know. So it is going to be crazy when it goes down. Don't know when it's happening. But as soon as the flyer is dropped, we got some mental preparation to do.
Absolutely. And when the flyers dropped, I will be looking for that match online as quickly as humanly possible to make sure that I watch. And I will stay off of both of your, because as you know, I follow both you and Slice. I will delete both of your accounts so I don't see any spoilers. And then after I watch the match, I will refollow because then at that point there will be no spoilers.
Yeah, man. We got, and Papo's kind of thrown into the mix of all this. He's just kind of the middleman trying to figure out what the fuck's gonna happen with the bodega. So we will see.
Absolutely. And you know what? Time always does reveal so many layers of what a storyline could build. And that's what I love about UWN is I feel like they've built these amazing rivalries and storylines, and they're focusing on the friendship aspect of the bodega, and they're doing all these right things. I feel like everything is just clicking. You know, when everything's clicking all at one time, and then man, it feels like you're running at 8,000 RPMs. That's what this all feels like. This feels like this is a roller coaster ride I don't want to get off of, except instead of Vin Diesel being behind the car, it's you and Slice Boogie, but you're also fist fighting in the car as you're flying over a fucking ravine. It's like Thelma and Louise meets Fast and Furious meets every possible Expendables stunt that could possibly happen. And then at the end, all I can see is you and Slice passed out on a beach somewhere smoking cigars because you're both beaten to shit. Like that's the
you know what? That's probably how it's gonna have to go. it's gonna have to be that. It's gonna have to be something like that. I mean, he got to kill me though.
Yeah, we know.
He got to kill
me. Yeah, we know this.
I've been in there with the best of the best. I've wrestled wrestlers that are considered the best of all time. Whether you're looking at me in the ring with Kenny Omega, Ray Phoenix's, Konosuke Takeshita's, the John Moxley's, to everywhere far and in between that. You could even say that I've been places Slice hasn't been. I have a different sense of the game. It's kind of like, one of those things where someone really, really wants something and don't know what it took to get to that point, but they just want it really bad because they know it's going to take them to that next level and they need it. And then here I am sitting on top of the throne, not wanting to get complacent, not wanting to just bend the knee. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to kill me. Like, if you're going to take this from me, you're taking money from my daughter's mouth. You're taking money from my family, my son, everybody. Like, I can't just give that up just because you're my brother, just because you're my boy. Fuck, I got a family I don't even talk to. So it's one of those things where I know how bad Slice wants it. I just don't think he's ready to get into the ring with me with that on the line. I don't think he understands what it's going to take to beat me. I'm at the top of my game. I'm in the best shape I've ever been in. I'm having the best matches of my career. And I don't plan on stopping right now just because I'm looking in the face of one of my boys. He was just out. Shit, I was with him Saturday going to Mexico, and 2 days before that, he was at my crib drinking a shot of Henny VSOP for his birthday. Celebrating his birthday. Took him out to eat, fed him, bought him some liquor. You know what I'm saying? Toasted to his life, toasted to his blessings. But that shit ain't gonna come at my expense, So we're gonna see.
We absolutely will. And everyone, if you're watching this interview right now, if that right there, that on the fly promo doesn't get you hyped up for whenever this match may come, then everyone in this world is sleeping. Okay? Everyone in this world.
They be sleeping on me. I hope they die in their sleep.
Absolutely. I've never slept on Danny Limelight. I've been in the limelight since day one. Not his limelight, but I've been in like the after limelight, like the far off to the left corner limelight. But dude, I appreciate you, man, because you hit me up and you were like, let's run it back, let's do it again.
Yeah, of course. I don't forget the real.
Yeah, man, and I appreciate that. When real recognize real, and you calling me one of the real ones, that's humbleness to the 9 yards, and I appreciate you. And we are definitely mi familia, mi gente. That's right. And listen, because of you, I know how to spell mi gente properly. Because before I spelled it wrong.
And you know how to say it right. So
yeah, that's awesome. Right. That's right. Hey, my Spanish is getting pretty good, Danny. You got to give me credit, bro. You got to give me credit.
I give you credit. I give it to you.
All right. Before we go, one final question, and then I'll let you go enjoy the rest of your evening. When you look at your films and everything, I want to switch gears again to movies. See, I love this. We're going back and forth. It's beautiful. You look at all your projects. Have you ever thought about writing something from the perspective of not so much your life or your situations in life, but have you ever thought about writing a perspective from your wrestling side of things? Like something where you can tell that radioactive Poppy story without getting into the interpersonal life?
I have a concept for that. I'm kind of waiting for the book first. I don't really know when my wrestling career is gonna end, where it's gonna go. So it's one of those things where I want to wait till all said and done before I do that. But like I said, From Street Lights to Limelight is gonna be my book, my autobiography about my life. Multiple layers, you know, growing up in Brooklyn, joining the military, becoming a dad very young, starting wrestling, you know, the acting, just juggling all this shit. And that would eventually, my goal is to eventually turn that into a biopic, you know, let's take that and tell my life story. But it's crazy you bring it, you know, I'm looking now, like January 4th is less than a month and a half away. You know, I'm going to be on screen with Michelle Yeoh, Academy Award winner on Netflix. You know, next week, December 6th, I'm on set for Amazon shooting this TV show that I'm part of now. You know, and while still finishing up my current project, you know, looking at everything, it's kind of like, you ever been into like one of those, like you dream and you're just seeing everything like flash by and you're like, oh, I remember this, I remember this, that, there's this, there's that. Like all this shit coming at me, everything that I've done, every seed I've planted, you know, growing and blossoming, and maybe some leaves are falling off or some flowers are dying, but I'm just planting seeds, I'm planting seeds. You know, this one grows beautifully, this one may not grow, but the point is that I'm juggling all of it, I'm doing all of it to set my legacy up so that when it does come to the time where all said and done, I could look back and say, at least I fucking did it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's the best way to end this. Before you go, though, I need one more favor from Ante. I need you to give me that Danny Limelight energy and tell everyone, if they're sleeping on Straight Talk, they must be stupid and they have to subscribe.
Mi gente, you already know who it is. It's the radioactive Poppy, Danny Limelight, the longest reigning United Wrestling Network world champ. You see me on AEW, MLW, New Japan Pro Wrestling, AAA. I'm all over the world. I'm on your TV screens, from TV shows to movies to everything in between. And if you sleeping on Straight Talk Wrestling Podcast, get your shit together. Subscribe, like, and all that.
That's fire. I could never do that better than anybody else. You kill it every single time. Mi gente, mi familia, I appreciate you and respect to everything that you're doing. Keep the hustle up. And you know what? We're going to try to make this a yearly thing. If your schedule's not too crazy, you know, always welcome back.
Let's do it. Have a good time. Have a good Christmas. Happy holidays. All of that, man. Much love. Send my love to the mini hosts.
I will. Peace, love, and wrestling, guys. That's it for this one. Peace. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and turn on that notification bell so you get notified each time we post a video. Alternatively, you can check us out on all podcast platforms and hosted on Podbean. We are also available on the SNME network. That's the Sunday Nights Main Event Patreon. Please feel free to check us out there as well. And don't forget to follow us on all social media platforms at _Straight Talk on Twitter, at Straight Talk Wrestling on Instagram, Straight Talk Wrestling on Facebook, Straight Talk Wrestling on TikTok, and of course, you can check out all our merch at ProWrestlingTees.com.
I don't need a nigga.